typing. Okay, still same section. We're going to look at perfect square trinomial. You need paper out because you guys are going to do some problems. Okay, perfect square trinomial. If you guys were to take x plus 3 and square it, can you guys do that without writing x plus 3 and x plus 3?
No, I don't. Yeah.
What's your first term?
X squared.
What's your middle term?
3x.
3x
Gosh,
and
dang
3x again. What's 3x plus 3x?
it.
6x. And then 9. That's a perfect square trinomial.
What's up with the bar left?
That shows that it's a perfect square.
So
So a perfect square, and trinomial means it has 3 terms. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go from here to here. Now let me show you what's true about this. What are you squaring to get x squared? What are you squaring to get 9? 3. Your signs have to be the same. They're both going to be what? Plus. What do you get when you multiply those together? If you double that, that gives you that middle term. That's how you know whether you have a perfect square trinomial. So this, and a perfect square trinomial, this is going to be that same variable. This is going to be half of what that is right there. And then when you square that, that's going to be that number right there. So let's say that we have a squared plus 2ab plus b squared. What do you square to get a squared? What do you square to get b squared? And because this is a perfect square, we're going to put a square. What do your signs have to be if this is plus?
Both plus.
They're going to both be plus. So it's going to be written like that. Now, is that the same thing as a plus b times a plus b? It means the same thing as a plus b times a plus b. If you multiply those together and double it, that's how you get that middle term. So this is always what you're squaring to get that. This is what you're squaring to get that. Signs have to either both be plus or both be minus. So this always has to be plus on a perfect square trinomial. If that's not plus, you can't do it. Remember, I'll talk to the way you learned yesterday, but you can't do it. It won't be like this. So what would be different is the minus here. You know what would be different? It's still A, you're still squaring A, you're still squaring B, only this is going to be, signs are the same, they're both minus. If you multiply those together, you're going to get a negative AB. Double that, and you get negative 2AB, which is the middle term. Okay? So, let's try some examples. Okay, switch screen? Yes. Okay, let's try some. Let's say I had x squared minus 10x plus 25. Now the reason I'm looking at this and thinking it's possibly a perfect square trinomial. The reason I think that is because that's a perfect square and that's a perfect square. And that's got to be plus. Okay? So now we're going to check to see if we know what it is. What are you squaring to get x squared? X. What are you squaring to get 25? Plus. What do your signs have to be if this is plus? They got to be the same. They're both going to be minus. Now this is how you're going to check your middle term. You're going to multiply them together, negative 5 times x, and double it. That gives you negative 10x. Is that the same as that?
Holy job.
There you have it. Now can I go like this? X times x, 5 times 5, minus and minus, will it still work? Negative 5x and negative 5x, is that negative 10x? So you could do it that way, but if you see that's the perfect square trinomial, we can write it this way. Let's try another one. Let's say that I have 49y squared minus 14y plus 1.
Alright.
So what are you squaring to get 49y squared?
7.
1. What are you squaring to get 1?
1.
1. Signs have to be the same, they're both minus. Multiply those together. What do you get? Negative 1 times 7y. Double it. Is that what I want? That's the same thing as that.
This is the bottom, just check it.
Yeah, so that's a check. This is really just your answer. This is just a check to make sure it's right. Okay, so let me put one up here so you guys can do it.
Here we go.
Try that. Okay, so on this one, what did you guys get for, what are you squaring to get 9x squared?
Yeah.
3x? What are you squaring to get 16?
4.
Signs have to be the same, they're both minus. Negative 4 times 3x is negative 12x, double. Gives you what we want. Question. Okay, try one more. Type it up. That's how you do it.
I had to freak out this week.
Okay, if I gave you that, could you guys do that one?
Wow. No, you can't do that.
Okay, why can't we do this one?
Because it's negative.
This can't be negative. This has to be positive. Because you're going to have different signs, right? So then that won't work to be a perfect square. So does that make sense to everybody? So this one's not possible. Now that doesn't mean that you couldn't do what you guys did yesterday and play around with it and see if it works. But it's not a perfect square trinomial. So what if we switch that to, which is this? How does that work? Try that. 36x squared plus 11x plus 25.
No, can't do it.
Why doesn't it work? Okay, the signs have to be the same, they're both plus. You gotta multiply this and double it. Are you getting 11? No. So that does not work. Now, again, you could probably play around with what you guys did yesterday and find all the different factors of 36x squared and 25 to see if it did work. But right now we're not working on that part, so I don't think that works. I'm not going to check that. It might be possible they'll give you a problem, but you have to take out the greatest common factor first. So always remember to take out your greatest common factor. So let's say that they gave you a problem like this. 4x squared minus 24x plus 36. I don't agree with how the book says it's about. I honestly think you should do this first. What's your greatest common factor?
4.
4. You need to take the 4 out. So what are you going to have here?
That's square. Minus 6x. 4 was 9.
Now, is that a perfect square trinomial? What are you squaring here?
Squaring x.
You're squaring there. Signs are the same, they're both minus. You multiply those and double it, so you get negative 6x.
Yes.
Okay, so that one works. The other type of problem we're going to look at is, difference of squares. Okay, difference of squares. Difference of squares looks like this. When you have difference of squares,
Yes, ma'am. I know how to do this.
let's see,
Oh, that's a different one.
so what do you square and you get a squared? Okay. What do you got to square and you get b squared? What do your signs have to be to get a negative b squared? There's your a squared. There's your minus b squared. What happens to the inside term?
Cancel.
They add up to be 0. They're going to drop out. They call this difference of squares. So if I have 25x squared minus 49, are both of those perfect squares?
Yes.
Is this difference of squares?
Yes.
I
No.
subtract. It's different, right? So what am I squaring? What's my first term going to be?
5x and x. 5x.
And then what am I squaring to get?
7.
What are your signs have to be to get a negative?
7 plus negative.
There's your 25x squared. There's your negative 49.
I don't need it.
What happens to these two terms?
Figure out that.
That's what you want to do.
Wow, this is good job.
So let's try one more. 64 x squared minus 16.
Oh. So she gets
What's the first thing you should do on all of these? See if you can take something else. Is their greatest common factor in this? The 16 divided by 64?
Oh. Wow.
So when you took the 16 out, did you guys get 4x squared minus 1? And then, is that difference in square? What do you square when you get this? 2x, and does the middle term drop out down here? There's your 4x squared minus 1. Question. How many got right?
Well,
So you can't use 4x and x. 4x. It won't, no, because then you're going to have, if you even tried that, it wouldn't work. You got to have 1 and 1. There's no way you're going to have the middle term drop out. So if these are both perfect squares,
no.
and that's different, then you need to do it this way.
This is good one.
Okay, your assignment?
This is good one.
Yeah.
What if you did 16 and then 8 parentheses x squared?